This is KXAN News on the CW Austin with Sally Hernandez, Brian Sanders, meteorologist Mark Monstrola, and First Warning Traffic with Amanda Dugan. In-depth, investigative.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us. We'll have your first warning weather and traffic in just a minute. But first, we want to bring you the latest on breaking news we've been following for you all morning long.
Yeah, 2 people are dead, 23 hurt after a car plows through a crowd in downtown Austin during South by Southwest. Happened near 9th and Red River near the Mohawk just after 12:30 this morning.
We've got team coverage for you, starting with Sophia Beausoleil, who was at the scene just minutes after it happened. Sophia, what can you tell us?
Good morning, Aaron. When I got there, it was a big scene. It was chaotic because a lot of people were just getting out of the bars. Cheer Up Charlie's is right there, Mohawk is right there, and people were enjoying themselves, listening to music. It's supposed to be a fun night, and then it turned deadly after the suspected drunk driver plowed through the crowd. So Police Chief Art Acevedo told the media that it all started after a traffic stop. The suspected drunk driver was being pulled over for a traffic stop. He then tried to escape police and ended up going down 9th Street on the wrong way. Remember, 9th Street is a one-way, so he was going the complete opposite direction. He then continued to accelerate. He took a right onto Red River, and he went through the barricade. That area is blocked off, and he almost hit a police officer. APD says that an officer who was watching that barricade actually had to jump out of the way from being avoiding to be hit. The suspected driver, though, continued to plow down on Red River. He hit several people, police say. And then police say that once he crossed 10th and 11th, he actually hit 2 individuals driving on a moped. And police say that those 2 people, a man and a woman, died at the scene. After that, police say that the driver hit a taxi cab and then finally crashed into a parked van. And police say that the man got out the car. He tried to run away. Police were able to tase him and get him in custody. Here's what the chief has to say about the whole incident.
You cannot stop a person who decides that rather than face potential drunk driving charges, decides to flee at a high rate of speed, go around a uniformed officer, forcing him to run out of the way, and then at a high rate of speed show total disregard for the sanctity of human life. That's why we will be charging, direct filing 2 counts of capital murder on this individual.
Guys, when I was down here, I saw EMS going around to different people asking them if they were hurt. If they were, EMS treated them at the scene. But we did talk to EMS, and they said that they were able to get a lot of the people out of the area pretty quickly and to local hospitals so they can get the treatment that they needed. Out of those 23 people that were hurt, 5 of them were in critical condition. So, guys, I want you to take a look right now down the street. It's been, what, a couple hours since this happened, around 12:30, and you can see that the investigation continues right there at the intersection of 10th and 11th Street on Red River. And police say that this will continue all morning long as they try to piece every single detail of this tragedy. Reporting live from downtown Austin, Sophia Beausoleil, KXAN News.
And Sophia, like we had mentioned, you were there just moments after this all happened, and so many of the pictures we've been showing this morning and seen on Facebook and other social media sites show how just the people who were down there were rushing to help those who were hurt. Were you seeing that as well?
I was. Actually, there were 2 individuals where there was a crowd around them. I don't know the status of who exactly those people were, but there were a lot of people just standing by, a lot of people crying as they went by, because it was a very traumatic experience. One girl I talked with, she was actually on the roof here of an apartment complex right across from Mohawk and Cheer Up Charlie's. She said she saw everything happen. She was just shocked. Of course, nobody ever expects something like that. And she said that it was just unbelievable that somebody was just plowing down through a crowd of people here at the South by Festival.
All right, Sophia, we'll check back with you in a few minutes. Also, Austin police are asking for your help in this incident. They want anyone who witnessed or have videos to contact them. You're asked to call 512-974-5186 if you have any information.
And you heard Sophia mention the 23 injured. We are learning more about those victims this morning. Our Angie Bevan live covering that side of this story. Angie, what can you tell us?
Well, we continue to learn more about those who were injured as a result of all of this. Of the nearly 24 injured, St. David's Hospital tells us that 17 of those people came into their facilities. Now, they've told us this morning that about 13 of those people have been treated and released, so that is the good news. Of the 4 that remain in the hospital, they say 1 is in good condition, 1 is in fair condition, then 2 are still in critical condition. Now, we also know that out here there were a lot of police and extra fire personnel and security in the area, with it being South by Southwest, all of whom reacted quickly. We also talked to a man who happens to direct traffic down here. He was working at the intersection of 9th and Red River around 12:30 this morning. He says that he saw that car come up the wrong way on 9th Street and even tried to stop the driver. He says he jumped out of the way of the vehicle and then he watched the car plow down Red River Street.
As I was running, it just didn't kick in me. It didn't seem so real until I had to step over the bodies. And all you hear is people screaming and yelling, saying, hey, he's hit, she's hit, there's somebody over here, somebody over here.
And as I mentioned, again, 17 people were taken to St. David's Hospital. 2 of those people still in critical condition, and the additional 6 or so were taken to UMC Brackenridge. For now, reporting live in downtown Austin, Angie Bevan, Kxan News.
Well, Angie, one more question for you. Obviously, with so many out-of-towners here for South by, some family members could be, of course, in their cities right now watching all of this, wondering if their loved ones were part of this. Have police said anything about how those family members can get information?
Well, sure. As we mentioned earlier, I do believe that they can try to contact Austin police, and also, of course, they can get some of that information by contacting the hospitals, and those officials with the hospitals are keeping us updated as well on the conditions of those patients.
All right. Thank you so much, Angie, and we will have continuing coverage on this breaking news story here on the CW Austin all the way until 9 a.m. Of course, online throughout the day after that, and for the very latest, just go to kxan.com. All right, let's turn things over to Mandy now. Of course, road closures for about 3 blocks in the downtown area right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Aaron. We're going to zoom in a little closer here with our our traffic maps for you in the Red River District. Once again, that lane that is closed there from 9th to 12th Street as police wrap up their investigation. Now, not only those 3 blocks are closed, but any cross streets as well will be shut down through the area. However, the I-35 southbound frontage road remains open this morning. So if this is part of your drive, maybe some people trying to get to work early this morning, make sure to plan for any delay. And of course, those police units that are in the area, as well as anyone who may still be on foot trying to get home after a very late and tragic evening. Also, another wreck working here as you come across 183 and 290. One lane is blocked in the 1600 block of Rutherford near Center Creek Drive. Give yourself extra time through the area. It seems to be causing some minor backup on those westbound lanes of 290 as well as northbound lanes of Anderson Lane. Another wreck here as you make your way towards southeast Austin on Burleson Road and eastbound Ben White Boulevard. APD is on scene. That is your first warning traffic at 7:06. We have another update in just 10 minutes. Here's Mark now. He's going to let us know about your weather.
Thank you very much, Mandy, and good morning, everyone. 7:06, as Mandy mentioned a second ago, and overhead early today, just as we went to sleep with last night. Mainly clear skies with us early this morning, and I think that's going to stick around through a good chunk of the day today. Plenty of sunshine lies ahead as we get through our Thursday, but early this morning it is quite cool out there in many locations. We're at the freezing mark in multiple communities, including Georgetown at 32. Llano and Mason, you're matching that this morning. Not that much warmer in Fredericksburg at 34 and 41. Our temperature downtown with the 30s even creeping in for our eastern communities early today. However, once we get into the afternoon hours and the sunshine blazes overhead, we will see a quick and extensive recovery in the thermometers today, all the way up to 69 degrees for your daytime high. Light winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10. So the breezy conditions from yesterday are now long gone. What won't be long gone for very long are rain opportunities. They will come back into play possibly as early as this weekend. We'll get you through it coming up in your full 7-day in just a few.
All right, Mark, thanks. New information this morning about the missing Malaysian Flight 370. The Wall Street Journal is reporting American investigators suspect that the plane may have flown for several hours after it lost contact with air traffic controllers. Now, this theory means the plane could have gone several hundred 100 miles more than originally thought. The plane carrying 239 people vanished 1 hour into the flight early Saturday morning. The plane's last known confirmed position was roughly halfway between Malaysia and Vietnam. So far, no confirmed evidence of a crash has been found. In all, 10 countries are now involved in the air and sea search for the plane. New overnight, a 7th body was found in the rubble of 2 New York City apartment buildings that were destroyed by an explosion. People say they felt the blast from up to a mile away. 60 people were injured. A 5-story tall building with a church, piano store, and apartments came to the ground. The main focus for the government right now, building records. They don't show any existing permits for work at the location, but last June, New York City issued a permit for one of the buildings there to replace its gas line.
And we are continuing to follow the breaking news for you from overnight out of downtown Austin, where police say a suspected drunk driver plowed through a crowd at South by Southwest, full of people waiting in line for a live music show. 2 people are dead, another 23 injured. We'll have the very latest for you as we have team coverage. It is 7:08. You're watching KXAN News on the CW Austin.
Welcome back. General Motors is offering a new benefit for drivers affected by a recent recall. The automaker will give free loaner cars to people who own cars under the recall. Last month, GM recalled 1.6 million older model small cars because of a problem with the ignition switching off unexpectedly. The replacement parts are expected to arrive at dealerships by April 7th.
Well, if you are heading to the airport this week, you may actually see some delays because of South by Southwest swag. Austin Bergstrom airport officials tell us it's happening in the checked luggage line. They say there is so much stuff in travelers' bags it becomes unidentifiable in the screening machine. This is the busiest time of the year at the Austin airport as thousands of people descend on the city for South by. And the TSA says if you are bringing back extra swag, put it in a carry-on bag. Still to come this morning, we've got more on the breaking news downtown where 2 people are dead and nearly 24 hurt after a suspected drunk driver goes into a crowd at South by Southwest.
So we just hear a sudden burst of wind, and I look up and someone hit me from behind like that.
And we will have witness reactions as well as the response from Austin Mayor Lee Leffingwell following the crash. Time right now is 7:12. You're watching KXAN News on the CW Austin.
And it's a quiet morning across central Texas as far as the weather is concerned, but it is chilly out there. Wear a jacket as you get outside, but you'll be able to shed it this afternoon. A nice warm up on the way. We'll tell you about it coming up in First Warning Weather.
And traffic picking up here on I-35 north and southbound at 51st Street. We'll have a closer look at some earlier crashes still showing up on the maps, as well as those road closures in the Red River District coming your way in just a few minutes.
Welcome back. Time check is 7:15. If you are just waking up with us this morning, let's get you up to speed on the breaking news overnight out of downtown Austin. This happened near 9th and Red River. A suspected drunk driver plows into a South by Southwest crowd, leaving 2 people dead and 23 others injured. Now, this scene unfolded in front of hundreds of people in line waiting at the Mohawk, a live music venue. There was a concert set to go on for South by. Take a look at this video Socrates Villarreal shared with us. Now, he was there shortly after it happened. In this clip, you can see some people rushing to help some of the victims hit by the car. Some of the crowd on Red River was waiting to see Tyler, the Creator, perform at the Mohawk.
We're standing in line to get in Mohawk. We have a badge holders line and a regular line, and everybody's minding their business, and we just hear a sudden burst of wind. And I look up and someone hit me from behind like that, and I looked to the side and I saw a gray, looked like a Subaru, like a 90-something Subaru, and it just rolled over some people and littered it all the way down. And I just remember seeing people bouncing off of the street all the way, rolling down past 10th, and then that's when there's cops coming through. And
Now, police have not yet released the names of the 2 people killed, a man and a woman who were on a moped, and the names have not been released of the 23 others injured.
And following the accident, the Mohawk did release this statement on Facebook saying, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the victims and injured from tonight's tragedy. Please check and make sure everyone you know is home safe tonight." And Mayor Lee Leffingwell released this statement saying, quote, "I have been made aware of the tragic accident that occurred early this morning near 10th and Red River River. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of the victims as well as those being treated in area hospitals. First responders rushed to the scene to provide aid to the victims. The Austin Police Department is investigating this matter as allegedly involving a drunk driver. If this is true, this fact angers me. Drunk driving is never acceptable and can lead to deadly consequences. And as a result of this accident, I mean, the area was already closed off, but now they've expanded the closure even further.
They expanded closures, and I know Sophia even said if you've ever been in that part of Austin during South by Southwest, it is packed. Several of those venues host huge names in music, so it just goes to show how busy it was at that time. And these road closures are definitely going to disrupt some people's commute, so let's get to them right now. Okay, if you'll be traveling here on Red River, once again, it is closed between 9th over to 12th Street. Also, all cross streets in that area are shut down as well as police investigate the scene. You'll need to use an alternate route if you are someone who works in the downtown area and may be getting out the door here within the next 30 to 40 minutes. Make sure to plan for delay, and of course, again, those emergency crews that remain on scene. Now, another huge traffic alert to bring out to the Cedar Park area, just tweeted out by the city of Cedar Park. Highway 183 is closed between Avery Ranch Road and Cypress Creek this morning due to a very serious crash. They are asking commuters to consider an alternate route before getting out the door, as backups will be big here, and there's no estimated time on when those lanes will reopen. A quick look with our text dock camera travels outside, and we're at I-35 at 51st Street. You can start to see those rush hour delays slowly kicking in, whether you're traveling inbound or outbound this morning. No matter where you're headed, give yourself some extra time on the watch. That is your first warning traffic at 7:19. More updates in only 10 minutes. Here's Mark now with an update on your forecast.
Thanks a lot, Mandy. Good morning, everyone. As we come up on 7:20 this morning, we do have mainly clear skies overhead early today. So once the sun comes up in roughly a half of an hour or so, we'll see plenty of it filling the skies again, just like we did yesterday. Although we're starting off on a much cooler note than we did 24 hours ago. We're at the freezing mark in so many spots across the hill country. 32 in Llano, Georgetown, and Mason. A little warmer downtown at 41, but most areas, with the exception of downtown Austin, in the mid to upper 30s, but a really nice recovery headed our way before it's all said and done. 62 by noon as mainly sunny skies return, and we'll keep it around all the way through sunset. 68 for your daytime high today. Some areas may hit the low 70s before the day's wrapped up. So a really good afternoon, very reminiscent of yesterday coming our way, but this will be the last of the blue skies and sunshine that we'll see for a little while. As overnight tonight, starting at 9 p.m., we get our future clouds and radar going. We'll get a southerly flow setting up shop, and when that happens, the clouds will begin to increase a little bit as we head into our Friday morning. May even feel a touch of humidity out there for your Friday morning drive. And then as the afternoon hours tick by on Friday, we'll watch the cloud cover increase, probably mainly cloudy by dinner time, and perhaps even a few areas of drizzle popping up here and there as we approach the evening hours. Very isolated in nature, 10% chance, and it won't ruin any outdoor plans. Very light stuff if anything comes down at all. So 48 overnight tonight, a few passing clouds setting up by morning. Your 7-day forecast shows 70 on Friday with increasing clouds and some patchy drizzle possible late. A 20% chance for rain on Saturday as the warmth and humidity cranks up. 78 for the high, and a 30% chance for showers and a possible afternoon thunderstorm on Sunday with our next passing cold front.
Thanks a lot, Mark. And let's take you back to the scene in downtown Austin near 9th and Red River, where police are investigating after they say a drunk driver plowed into a crowd at South by, leaving 2 people dead, nearly a dozen others injured. Now, the police chief will be giving another update for us at 10:30 this morning. Our team coverage continues all morning long. We'll be right back.
We want to take you back out live to the scene of that deadly overnight accident. Now that the sun is coming up, we're able to get a better look at what it looks like right now along Red River. You're looking at it between 9th and you can look all the way down to 11th and 12th Street area. Police still investigating following that deadly crash involving 2 people who were on a moped. They were hit by a suspected drunk driver. 23 other people were injured as a result of a car driving through the crowded, blocked off area. We have team coverage, and we will be bringing that to you in just a few minutes. We want to talk to you about some of the other news today because visitors in Austin from South by may have been a bit surprised as gun right activists walked near the Capitol carrying large rifles.
Every country that's ever been free has been free because of weapons. And the countries that lived under despotic rulers were denied the use of weapons.
Well, it's a little bit different. It's not something that we would ever see on a street in Toronto, of course.
Well, it is legal in the state of Texas to openly carry an antique revolver or a long rifle as long as it is not in a threatening manner.
And tonight is the first night for the biggest event for the city of Austin during South by. The stage is set at Butler Park along Riverside Drive for this year's free shows. Tonight and tomorrow you can attend if you have a South by badge, wristband, or guest pass. Los Lonely Boys and Vintage Trouble are performing tonight. And Lady Gaga fans getting ready for tonight's big show. The pop superstar will perform for her Little Monsters tonight at the Doritos Bold stage at Stubbs. The 5-time Grammy Award-winning singer will give the keynote address also at the music conference tomorrow morning at the Hilton downtown. Now, no word yet if the investigation going on just down the street will affect tonight's concert. Here is another live look right now at the scene there. Police say a suspected drunk driver plowed into a crowd at South by, killing 2 people and injuring 23 others. We've got continuing team coverage for you after the break.
Now, first warning weather and traffic.
All right, 7:30 on the nose. Good morning, everyone. Another beautiful day lies ahead, full of sunshine and temperatures. For at least high temperatures, at least. We'll get back to very similar numbers that we saw yesterday. 70 degrees roughly in most areas before it's all wrapped up, as a slow and steady warm up from here will occur as we head toward the weekend. But with the warmth will come the humidity, and as a cold front smacks into the warm and humid air mass that we'll have in place this weekend, a few showers could arise for the music portion of South by Southwest weekend, as today will include mainly sunny skies and a high of 68, but the cloud cover begins to spill in starting tomorrow with a high of 70 degrees. We could even see a few patchy areas of drizzle with those increasing clouds on Friday, and then after starting off with a low of 60 on Saturday, it will be a warm and humid day with a high of 78, mainly cloudy and a 20% chance for rain. But a cold front has plans to swing through sometime on Sunday. We'll let you know how that will change our weather as we finish the weekend and start next week, coming up in First Warning Weather.
All right, we have an update to bring your way right now on those road closures that are happening on Red River Street this morning. Let's get our maps there for you now. 11th and 12th Street at Red River have just reopened this morning. However, keep in mind 8th and 9th Street may still be closed off. There are also several other cross streets that are closed in that area. The southbound frontage road of I-35 does remain open. A major heads up, I should say, here for Cedar Park drivers. 183A has been shut down in all directions between Avery Ranch Road to Cypress Creek this morning due to a serious wreck. Cedar Park PD is on scene at this time. Consider an alternate route before you get out the door. There will be major backup and no estimated time on when the main lanes will reopen. At least 2 vehicles were involved in this crash. There were transports, but no confirmation on how many people were headed to the hospital this morning. Our text truck goes outside and we're traveling over to I-35 at 51st Street. Some of that rush hour delay traveling in and outbound to the downtown area. That is your first morning traffic at 7:32.
Thanks a lot, Mandy. Right now it is right after 7:30, and if you're just waking up with us, here is the top story we are following for you this morning. Police say a suspected drunk driver plowed into a crowd of people who were waiting in line for a South by Southwest concert last night. Happened just after 12:30. Our Sophia Beausoleil was actually downtown when all of this unfolded. You rushed over there to the scene. Sophia, what have you learned so far?
Everything is still under investigation, but the person who is suspectedly driving while drinking, being drunk while driving, is in custody at this time. But listen, when I got here, it was just chaotic. Nobody knew exactly what had happened if they were in that area, but for those who were right on Red River, standing in line at Mohawk, a lot of them saw the car plow through the crowd, and many people were shaken up. You know, it was supposed to be a night of fun and good music, and then it turned deadly. So Police Chief Art Acevedo says an officer was in the process of pulling over somebody for a suspected drunk driving when they went to turn into a Shell gas station on the southbound frontage road of I-35 and 9th Street. That individual then started to take off. Police say that the driver was going the wrong direction on 9th Street and then took a right on Red River, going through a barricade. Police say an officer actually had to jump out of the way because he was almost ran over by the driver. Now, police say that that individual kept going, just mowing through people in the crowd. He then eventually hit a moped that had 2 people on it. Those 2 individuals, a man and a woman, were pronounced dead at the scene. And then police say he hit a taxi cab, then finally crashed into a van. He got out of the van, ran off. Police were able to chase him and tased him, and then got him in custody. Here's what Police Chief Art Acevedo has to say.
Let me just say this right now. There's only one person that's responsible for this, and that's the person who had no regard for the sanctity of life. I know that some of you want to focus on the police, but I'm here to tell you that there's one person responsible, and that's that person that got behind that wheel, decided to potentially drink and drive, get under the influence, and then when stopped by police, cared more about himself than these people out here. So from our perspective, he needs to go to jail, and that's where he'll be hopefully for a long time.
And the police chief went on to say that they will be charging that individual with 2 counts of capital murder. We have not received any information on who that individual is, their name, age, if they were drunk or anything like that. There's going to be a press conference at 10:30 this morning, and we'll have more information for you there and also online at Kxan.com. But right now, our coverage continues with Angie Bevan, who's also live downtown. Angie?
We are learning more about those injured as a result of all of this. In addition to the 2 people killed, police tell us 23 people were injured. We have heard from officials at St. David's hospitals. They tell us that 17 people were taken to their facilities, and of those 17, they say that 13 have now been treated and released, so that's the good news. And of the 4 that remain in the hospital, they tell us 1 is in good condition, 1 is in fair condition, and 2 are in critical condition. Now, early this morning when all this was happening, there was a man who was working as a crossing guard. He was directing traffic here at the intersection of 9th and Red River, and he says he watched as this all happened. He had told us that he saw the driver turn down 9th Street going the wrong way. He says he tried to stop him, but he couldn't. He then had to jump out of the way as that driver then plowed down Red River Street into that crowd of people. And again, among that crowd of people, 2 people were killed, 23 were injured, 17 of which we know went to St. David's Hospital. And police tell us that the others were taken to UMC Brackenridge to be treated for their injuries. And we'll have more coming up in our next half hour. We'll hear some more from those eyewitnesses. For now, reporting live in downtown Austin, Angie Bevan, KXAN News.
Thank you, Angie, and we will have continuing coverage on this breaking story here on the CW Austin all the way until 9 a.m. And for the very latest developments throughout the day, you can also go to our website, Kxan.com, where you will also find a lot of photos from the scene from Sophia and other witnesses who were out there last night. Our coverage continues after the break. Stay with us. Well, welcome back. If you are just now joining us this morning, we want to update you on the breaking news we've been covering all morning long from downtown Austin overnight. Police say a suspected drunk driver plowed into a crowd of people near 9th and Red River. This is a live picture of the scene there. Now, police say he plowed into people who were standing in line waiting for a concert outside the Mohawk, a live music venue. He killed 2 people who were on a moped and injured 23 others. We've got team coverage for you this morning covering all angles of this breaking news. We'll have that for you coming up.
And we want to get you up to date on some other local news. An arrest affidavit out of Burnett is detailing the torture of 2 women inside a home where one of those women was found dead in January. We told you last night Rebecca Schaller's death spurred on an investigation that led to 3 arrests earlier this week, including Schaller's husband, Thomas Simon. Schaller's sister was interviewed by police and said that the 2 of them suffered abuse in many different ways, including waterboarding and being tied to a bed and beaten. Right now, the charges are for aggravated assault and kidnapping, but once a cause of death is determined, a murder charge may be filed. The women never appeared to reach out for help, and police think it was because they were just too scared.
Seeing this through this investigation, you could tell that they were definitely brainwashed.
Police say 8 adults and 6 children were in the home. They're now investigating the relationship between all of them. Child Protective Services is also involved. A man convicted of murder as a teenager could get a new punishment. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals tossed out Terrell Maxwell's sentence of life without parole. Austin police arrested Maxwell in 2008, 3 months after they found Fernando Sandadar dead inside his car on Rutland Drive. Since Maxwell's conviction, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that life sentences without paroles for juvenile criminals was cruel and unusual.
And now back to that deadly crash we've been covering for you all morning long in downtown Austin. Lots of people out there at the time that it happened and a lot of photos coming in.
Yeah, we have a lot of photos. We're going to be showing you more about that coming up. So stay with Kxan News here. I'm going to bring it for you. A couple of photos from the scene just minutes after this happened. So stick with us.
And after the winds yesterday, your pollen counts have jumped up a little bit. Cedar now at a moderate level, along with mold, elm, and oak. You may have a few problems today as far as the allergies are concerned, but a beautiful afternoon lies ahead. We'll walk you through it and this upcoming weekend coming up in First Warning Weather.
And we have some updates on a serious crash working out in the Cedar Park area on 183 Bell Boulevard. We'll have those and ways to get around those closures coming your way in just a few minutes.
Welcome back. Well, if you're just waking up with us this morning, we are continuing to cover that breaking news from overnight out of downtown Austin. A suspected drunk driver plowed into a South by Southwest crowd, leaving 2 people dead and nearly 24 others injured this morning. I want to show you where this is all taking place. Here's a map. Police tell us the suspect went the wrong way on 9th Street and then plowed through a barricade on Red River and hit the people in the crowd before it all stopped around 11th Street and Red River. Jackie Vega has been collecting the photographs. I mean, there were hundreds, if not thousands, of people out there on Red River at the time. Everybody has their phone. They're taking pictures and sending them in.
Yeah, that means plenty of pictures, plenty of videos too. That's why police are asking people to help them out, send them into to them. They've set up a specific phone line too, but plenty of pictures, like I've been telling you. I've been working to put them together for you guys in one place, making it easier for you guys at home to really get a grasp of the situation if you're just waking up trying to find out what's happening. Working fast and furious, get these all out, getting as much information as soon as we can, get it out to you as soon as it makes it into the newsroom. So taking you some of the photos from the scene from overnight. We told you our Sophia Beausoleil happened to be there just minutes after it happened, snapping some of these pictures of the scene. EMS tending to some people. We told you about a man and woman who are now dead. 23 others also hurt because it was a very fluid situation too. EMS and police worked quickly to try and take control of what was a very chaotic scene, pushing people away, setting up a crime scene perimeter. Debris in the area there. You can see it in the crosswalk. That's what people had to deal with. Mohawk evacuating the bar shortly after, one of the several businesses that had to close down so police could get to their investigation. And here's what it's looked like throughout the morning as police set up their crime scene tape. It continues to be very busy out there. Police continue their investigation, collecting as much evidence as possible. We have put the photo gallery up for you guys on the homepage, also with a map of the traffic closures, how it's affecting roads in that area, anyone traveling through the downtown area. We've got a full story with the video of the witnesses telling us what they saw. They happened to be there in the crowd, saw the car plowing through people. People flying through the air, they were saying. It's pretty dramatic moments. We're trying to get most of it up for you now on Kxan.com, including a timeline of the driver, the suspected, the suspect, the route he took through the downtown area. We've got hospital phone numbers for people to call in case they're wondering if anyone that they know was involved or is in the hospital, how they're doing. There's a press conference coming up.
Yeah, 10:30 this morning, the next briefing by the police chief. So still waiting, obviously, on names of the driver, those injured, also the 2 people who died in that crash. You mentioned the road closures. I know Mandy has been on top of it all morning long, trying to help people get around the crime scene.
Absolutely, Erin. As we get now out to your traffic maps this morning, I do want to say another thing we'll definitely get up on the web for you is a lot of cab numbers as well. If you plan on going back down downtown for the South by Southwest Festival. It's important to have local cab numbers in your phone so you can get home safely after a night of fun. Let's take a quick look now at those road closures you just heard me mention here. Red River closed between 8th and 9th Street. 11th and 12th have now reopened. However, some APD units are still on scene wrapping up that investigation, so make sure to reduce your speeds and pack the patients. A quick look out towards 183 this morning, Bell Boulevard and Cedar Park. This is a major traffic alert for commuters in this area. It is closed between Avery Ranch Road and Cypress Creek Road as well due to a serious crash. Alternate routes to keep in mind. Put these in your head now before you get out the door. 183A toll is open. Lakeline Boulevard, Palmer, Anderson Mill Road, as well as El Salado Boulevard will help you get around any delays in that area. Now, there were non-life-threatening injuries reported after this crash, and crews are working to clear the scene. Once again, all lanes are closed on 183 Bell Boulevard in Cedar Park this morning between Avery Ranch Road and Cypress Creek. A quick look now with our text dot. Here's another part of Austin that will hold you back just a little bit. I-35 southbound at 51st Street. A lot of people trying to get over to those upper and lower decks. That is your first morning traffic. Another update in only 10.
And Mandy, it's a quiet morning from a weather perspective as we're taking a look outside now at the sunshine blazing down on the Capitol facade early today at 7:49 now. The sun just came up not that long ago, and it will be with us and shining those skies up quite nicely all the way through the afternoon and evening. And satellite and radar composite confirms that for us. Exactly what we're seeing from that downtown cam. Clear skies right now across the metro area, hill country locations, and our eastern community. So all of central Texas, very calm and quiet overhead early today, but it's cold because of the clear skies and the winds dying down last night. We have watched temperatures really drop off. 30 right now in Llano, 32 at the freezing mark in Fredericksburg. Georgetown, you're matching that, but considerably warmer in the city at Camp Mabry. We're at 41. However, every other reporting site outside of the downtown area in the 30s. So yeah, jackets early, but I think you'll be able to shed them this afternoon. That's sunshine plus a southerly flow setting up today will return those warmer temperatures, at least average numbers for this time of year. Upper 60s, low 70s for highs today, mainly sunny skies, and we'll keep the light winds around at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now tonight, with that southerly flow continuing, here comes the moisture along with some warmth, courtesy of the Gulf of Mexico as we head through the overnight period into tomorrow morning's commute. Notice a few clouds. You can see a faint white there on the map starting to develop, and as the hours tomorrow tick by, you'll notice more and more cloud cover build into the sky. So we're going to call it increasing clouds. Could be a little humid out there too on our Friday, and we could even get, especially as we get toward the late day, the humidity really starts to build. A few pockets of drizzle coming down. Nothing to ruin any outdoor plans. Really only a 10% shot that you get some anyway, but it'll be very light and very quick hitting if it even comes on by. Meanwhile, tonight, 48 degrees for the low, so much warmer than where we're at now, and a few passing clouds. And heading through our Friday, those clouds continue to thicken up. We'll have mainly cloudy skies by sunset, I believe, with a high of 70 degrees and a few patchy areas of drizzle. A 20% shot for a few showers Saturday, 30% chance on Sunday with a passing cold front. Both days in the mid 70s for highs. Could even get a few late day thunderstorms on Sunday. We'll keep our eyes open for that for you. And your 7-day forecast back into it shows a brief cool down on Monday with a high of 66 before sun and 70s come back Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thank you, Mark. Still to come on KXAN News on the CW Austin, reaction to the deadly crash at South by Southwest that killed 2 people.
I just saw all these people just flying. It was terrifying.
The latest developments this morning on our top story next. Well, welcome back. Time check is 7:54. President Obama is expected to order the Labor Department to expand overtime pay requirements for millions of workers. The change is intended to force American businesses to pay overtime to some workers that are currently exempt. This comes after the president announced a plan to raise the minimum wage as well. And the Keystone XL pipeline is on the agenda for a congressional hearing today. The proposed project would carry Canadian oil south across the Great Plains to connect to refineries on the Texas Gulf Coast. The project needs federal approval since it would cross a U.S. border.
And we have been following breaking news all morning after a man drove into a crowd at South by Southwest. 2 people are dead, 23 hurt, and police say the crash happened while a large crowd was waiting in line to see a South by Southwest show. Watch this video. Socrates Villarreal was there shortly after it all happened and shared this video with us. You can see some people rushing to help some of the victims who were hit by the car. Those waiting in line outside the live music venue called Mohawk on Red River were waiting to see Tyler, the creator, perform.
Well, we were waiting to get into the show, and we were like around the side, and all of a sudden this car just like came driving through, like hit 10 people. Like, and so fast. I just saw all these people just flying. Like, it was terrifying.
And at this point, the names of the people who were injured and those who have died have not been released. We are going to be bringing you team coverage live from the scene in just a few seconds here on the CW Austin.
Injured, bad.